You may have seen these godless abominations available for sale. These are marketed by a company called Hydrofarm. They sell hydroponics and various plant growth equipment largely to potheads, which probably explains why there'd be a demand for a receptacle like this. Mainly these are intended for lamp ballasts that can be fed 120 or 240 volts, and so just use whatever cords to hand. However, this is very much not a good idea because you could easily hook 120 volt equipment to 240 volts, because that's how a lot of these receptacles are wired, and get it. However, there is a legitimate use for these, for testing applications where you want to be able to use both 120 and 240 volt plugs in the same receptacle. You can use that with variable output transformers like this, variacs, and also AC power sources, which is basically a frequency programmable inverter. Usually they produce anywhere from like 15 to 40 cycles per second, usually all the way up to 400 or 500 for variable frequency testing of equipment, or for where a weirdo, oddball, non-standard mains frequency is, or technically utility frequency is needed. And for that specific use case, these things are kind of useful. That's why I made up this extension cord with one of these receptacles and a Schuko plug, because that's what this variable output transformer I have has for its variable output. And should you ever get one of these Voltcraft transformers as wired from the factory, even though there's a NEMO 515 receptacle on the front of it, it is permanently connected to the 115 volt output on the transformer. It isn't variable. Only the Schuko receptacle is. So, yeah, now you know. And, yeah, for most things, don't use these, but if you're a weirdo, experimental, electrical crazy like me, then yes, you do have a legitimate use for these. Also quite expensive for Chinesium receptacles. Like, almost $20 a piece now, factoring in shipping.